Welcome into Boston has entered the chat. If you love this show, first of all, gracias. Secondly, check out Foxborough Rush, available on NESN as well. George Budenholzer and I get you ready for the Patriots' number 4 pick overall in the NFL draft, and we'll tell you what they should do, keyword should do, with that pick. Check us out. Foxborough Rush is available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and wherever else you get all your podcasts. All right, when you hear that sound, you know what time it is. Boston has officially entered the chat. Welcome into Boston has entered the chat. Travis Thomas here with my main man, George Budenholzer. How you doing, my friend?
Doing good, my man.
I feel like it's been a while since we've done a show together. Am I tripping?
It's
been a minute.
Last Thursday.
No, it was you and Case last Thursday.
No, the one that went out Friday. Yeah, the one that went out Thursday was you and I.
So it was, okay, all right. So that was it.
That's like a 4-day hiatus.
It's too long.
Yeah.
It's too long. I have
agree.
George withdrawals.
I'm same way with Trav withdrawals. You know what it was? Went home Jersey, see the family.
Yeah.
Playing with my little nephew. He's got hair on his head now, so I can't even say his bald head reminds me of
Man, I'm jealous. Shout outs to baby Luca, though. Coming up, we're just 9 days away from the NFL draft, so we'll tell you what the Pats should do. I use air quotes with the 4th overall pick. Plus, the Celtics playoff picture, George, gets more clear tonight.
Yeah.
We'll explain, and we'll give out our NBA season awards now that the season is coming to a close there. Remember, Boston has entered the chat is interactive, so email us, thechat@nesn.com. You can also tweet at us using the hashtag NESNChat as well. But I want to start with the Pats because I can't even believe we're just 9 days away from the draft.
I love it.
I love it, too. We've been counting them down, and now we're in the single digits, which is nice. But I saw this. Abdul Carter took his final pre-draft workout with the Patriots. Here's a tweet from Shefty here. So this is Carter's last pre-draft visit, having already gone to the Titans, Browns, and Giants. He turned down all the visits of the teams outside of the top 4 picks, which makes sense, right?
Why waste your time?
Why waste your time? And none of these teams, we don't think, are going to be trading out of that. Now, certainly if Carter's on the board for the Patriots at 4th, I believe they will take him.
Yeah.
Do you believe the same thing?
If he's there, they're going to stick and pick.
Okay.
And there's that aspect of you go into a draft, and when you're picking in the top 4, top 5, you're going to take best available.
Yes.
But the top 3 prospects, and depends who you go to. It's 1 Travis Hunter, 2 Abdul Carter, 3 Ashton Ginty. You wouldn't take Ginty with the offensive line situation that the Patriots have. If they rebuilt it from left tackle to right tackle, 1 through 5, all those spots, and it was younger, more versatile, that makes sense. I think it's 1 of 2 avenues for them. They stick and pick, going to be best available, Carter or Hunter, or they stick and pick, take the best left tackle, or they trade back but stay top 10. But talking about an Abdul Carter, 6'3", 250, 33-inch arms, which he uses to his advantage. Not crazy long, but he knows how to use that in a ghost rip type move where he's going to put his arm out, get his hand, pull it away, duck on an offensive tackle. It's like you're a ghost. Your hands are on you, but they're not. And then he uses his athleticism to take it. Elite burst off the line of scrimmage. And how he was brought into Penn State was in the image and the vision of a Micah Parsons. Off-ball linebacker, elite athlete, you'll go to edge and you'll make plays. And what you see when you watch him at Penn State, he was trusted. Go do your thing.
Yes.
He can read run plays well. He has good moves, especially on the pass rush, where he could go on the bend, go laterally on offensive tackle on top of their outside shoulder, and kind of bend the corner and collapse the pocket. Or he could cross their face, go inside shoulder again on an offensive tackle.
Sure.
Stress them that way. And what's important with that is when you have that elite first step that an Abdul Carter has. But if you're a one-trick pony, it's easy. I'm just going to cheat to my outside on my drop step every time on my pass pro. When I'm dropping back to pass block, I'm just going to cheat outside, go laterally, and I'll stop him. But when you can shift gears like him, and his change of direction is so quick, he's so twitchy, he's so elite, he goes outside, ducks back in, beats you across your face, he's going to light up your running back or your quarterback. He does so many things so well. And what I like about him a lot, T, he willingly takes on double teams and he willingly invites himself into double teams, where with his moves he'll take on a tackle and guard, and then that opens up someone else on a stunt or a blitz to clean up the work. He likes doing the dirty work. He's such an elite pass rusher. It's smart on what he did because he knows he's going 3. I see him.
You think he's going 3?
He knows he's going. I think he's going top 3.
Okay.
With the Browns, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Where Myles Garrett, they figured him out, but he's getting up there in age.
Right.
And if you let a Myles Garrett go, and then another Micah Parsons comes along, hello, that's your next Myles Garrett.
Sure.
He's not there.
He can learn from Myles.
Exactly. Or
Okay.
at 3 with the Giants, yes, they have Brian Burns. Yes, they have Kayvon Thibodeau, and they have Dexter Lawrence. Thibodeau's on last year. He either walks or they trade him at the deadline.
He's gone.
But he comes in and, again, cost control, what he's going to be, and he'll absolutely wreak havoc. They need help, the Giants, in the secondary and on their offensive line. But they would take him 3. I just don't see him falling outside of that. If the Pats are there at 4 and he falls there, you take him.
You have to.
Because you have Harold Landry, who's going to be 30 sooner than later. He's 29. You have Milton Williams, you got him. Christian Barmore. What I'm picking up is that he's going to be ready for the season.
Sounds it.
Then opposite of that, on the outside edge, it could be a Keon White. You could go second round if you go tackle.
Yeah.
But if an Abdul Carter's there, again,
You have to.
with Christian Gonzalez and Carlton Davis there for the next 3 years, you can get a free safety later in this draft.
Yep.
You have your off-ball linebacker. This guy controls the game. And you know what I like about him? Is he will go through a mother effer's face in a way of a Jared Verse
Right.
with the Rams. And you see what he did out of Florida State. That was your guy last
Called
year. You
it.
were all over him. You loved him.
Called it.
And I saw it. And look at what he's done. He's absolutely fantastic.
Yep.
But that's what Abdul Carter does. And then he has that insane twitchiness like a Von Miller.
Yeah.
He's a marriage in the two as a pass rusher. And I like using that more than a Micah Parsons when I talk about him.
I like Michael Parsons. I go straight there because, listen, if I'm picking nits on the kid, he's slightly light, in the hind parts against the run. But so was Micah Parsons at first, and Micah Parsons worked on that part of his game.
I think Parsons was around. I'll have to look up his draft measurables.
We'll have to see.
He might have been 260 to 270.
Yeah.
But it's in the base.
Yes.
Right? You look for guys in their legs.
That's
you look for their anchor.
And Parsons, to his credit, improved on that over time.
Yes.
This kid should, if he has the same work ethic, because that's one thing. Micah Parsons, they talked about his motor, his work ethic coming out. I haven't heard the same things about this kid. Not a knock on him, but I don't know if he has that
football.
same type of motor as a Micah Parsons. We'll find out.
I get it, yeah.
But again, and that's just me trying to find something to knock this kid for.
Yeah.
I would say he's a little light in the hind parts against the run, but that can change with the strength and conditioning program of the Patriots or whoever he gets drafted by, some more technique, some more coaching. And listen, if he can get more stout against the run, he is a complete package. I personally am slightly concerned with the foot thing. Remember, the foot thing came out around the combine. Everyone kind of freaked out. His camp, as in Abdul Carter's camp, said it's no big deal. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
And I guess you leave it up to your medical staff. But I'm always a little skeptical with anyone coming into a league with some injury questions.
Okay.
Is that foot a ticking time bomb? Do we need to get surgery sooner than later? It seems like everyone just says, rest, he'll be fine.
And it was.
I have a little bit of concerns there.
Yeah, that's usage. That's him playing a lot of snaps, and that's just like figuring out. But it's nothing red flaggy.
Right.
That's not.
You don't pass him up because of that.
Yeah, you look at Abdul Carter, you can find yellow flags, but you're not finding red flags.
I think that's fair.
And he's going to turn 22 in October. Really young. Really dominant, really young.
Wow.
He'll be 22 in October.
I have to look up his birthday. I have an October
3rd.
Oh,
because I'm looking it up right now. Because that's a big thing, too, when you evaluate a lot of these prospects.
Yeah.
It is like, because everything we talk about, he's 6'3", 250, twitchy athlete, and we're the same where, you know what? Needs to build a bigger base.
Yeah.
Cool. He's not even 22.
That's right.
Think about you at 22, then 25, then 28. And that's what you get with an Abdul Carter. And again, that's why it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because this kid, if you get him, what you want with your first round draft pick at the minimum is a good starter that'll make it to the second contract. He'll be 22 in October. He's going to be an elite talent until he's 32 for the next 10 years. And that's on your defensive line.
I want you to put your GM hat on for a second because I have a legitimate question that I feel as though I've noticed with this kid.
Yeah.
When we really started talking draft and the draft order was out and we started breaking all this down, we, as in you and I, and even the experts doing all these mock drafts and all these geniuses out here that talk draft, had this kid projected at possibly number 1. Now, as time has gone on, I personally feel as though he has lost some juice. Am I misreading that? In other words,
Carter?
we know Cam Ward's going 1. That's not my question here. But does it seem like Abdul Carter has lost some steam in terms of being in that top 3? Maybe he is, George, available at 4 for the Patriots, which, I don't know, a month ago would have been unheard of.
No, I wouldn't say so. I just think
You don't think he has lost juice?
No.
Okay.
It's just he's so elite in everything he does.
Okay.
That's just what it is.
All right.
And he's going to. There's a reason he limited to the 3 teams that he took visits with. He knows he's not going to the Titans. Everyone sees that. Why else would they sign a 34-year-old right guard? Because you need to protect a rookie quarterback, and he knows he's not going to slip past 4. That's where you read between the lines of like there's lying season, but also just pay attention to the visits.
So gut feel, Browns at 2. That's what it sounds like you're saying.
I mean, Travis Hunter
Learn
makes
from
sense
Miles.
there because they're fine on defense and need help on offense, the Browns.
Okay.
And we know they signed Joe Flacco. Maybe they still trade for Kirk Cousins.
So you like him to the Giants?
Okay. It's more of I don't see him slipping past 3.
Right.
And it just makes sense. Neither of those guys are going to go past 3.
Yeah.
It stinks for the Patriots, but that's just how it's
Yeah, well, I want to go there because you've depressed me now because, listen, I wanted Travis Hunter. You haven't projected to the Browns at 2. And then I'm thinking, okay, well, great. Abdul Carter's still on the board. Then you have him going to pick before to the Giants.
Yeah.
So now I'm sitting there thinking, well, what the hell are the Patriots going to do? Mm-hmm. If you're looking at a Will Campbell, you don't necessarily have to take him at 4. Maybe you could trade back, stay in the back end of the top 10. Maybe a team like the Saints with their quarterback conundrum right now with the news with Carr, do they move up, try to get a Shedeur Sanders, Jackson Dart, whoever? That I believe they pick at 9, right, George? So that's a scenario where
I was having fun with those mocks.
You move back to 9. I mean, just for the sake of the combo, Will Campbell may be in play, Membu may be in play. A Tyler Warren may be in play. And Ashton Genty, all my dreams come true, could be in play.
A Ted McMillan is in play there, and it makes a lot of sense.
Let me ask you in a different way. If Abdul Carter's off the board like you suspect, Travis Hunter's off the board like you suspect, are the Patriots better off trading back? Like 4 at that point doesn't feel like a advantageous place to be in.
I think they would be in. It would just be what would be the price and how far are you moving back. And why it piqued my interest with the Saints because the amount of draft picks they have.
Oh, okay.
Extra
draft
third,
capital.
Yeah.
Okay.
Extra third. I believe they have an extra second as well.
Okay.
I'll look again.
All right.
And that's where I could see if you trade back, if you go from 4 to 9, you get 9 and then a second round pick and a third from the Saints. So the Patriots would have 2 seconds, 3 thirds. And with that ammunition, say if you go with Ted McMillan at 9, trade back into the end of the first, maybe if Josh Simmons out of Ohio State is there and you like what you see from his patellar, that's your left tackle. Or
would Banks be around maybe?
Kelvin Banks could be there too.
He could be there.
He could 1,000% be there. That's a guy that's gotten better year by year, needs to work on his balance, but
feels
an
like
SEC
his
left
range.
tackle.
Yeah.
I like Josh Simmons because say if they stay in 9 and they still go tackle, because here's my 2 ways I look at it.
Okay.
You're not going to find a lot of good left tackles that have gone outside of the first round.
Sure.
Christian Darrisaw was end of the first, excuse me. Tristan Wirfs was a 4th left tackle off the board in that draft. He's the best one in the league if you ask me. Walker Little was a 2nd round pick, but that's kind of an anomaly. And that's where it goes into it again of you can find value in later rounds, pass rushers. You can find it with wide receivers. Quarterbacks, elite left tackles, that's mostly a 1st round pick. But if they trade back to 9 and they get, let's say they pass on a Ted McMillan, and you still get either maybe Membu's gone, maybe he's not.
I feel like he might be.
And you either get a Josh Simmons, who is a left tackle, really good pass pro,
right?
Needs to work on his run blocking, but really good. And you like what you see from his patellar, you go with him. 6'4", 315 pounds, 34+ inch arms, 81+ inch wingspan. Like that's all the measurables.
No
and
questions.
That's your left tackle.
There's no questions.
And say with that, you get an extra second, you can just load up on weapons in that 2nd round. It could be a Jaden Higgins and Jalen Knoll out of Ohio State. It could be an Elik Yomenor and a Jalen Knoll, or Elik Yomenor and a fill in a slot at that point too, and you build it out, or go with the running back as well, or a tight end. Like that's where things get interesting. And that's why I think that, but it's just, again, what will the interest be? Who wants Shedeur Sanders? The Saints have shown it. They don't trade back. They only trade up and they swing big.
Yes.
But with a new head coach, what changes? And that's where I could see the one thing that invites it with Derek Carr dealing with this injury, which apparently they saw coming. You have a new head coach in Kellen Moore. He wants his quarterback. It's not a sit back if we get Dart, we get Dart. Sit back if we get Shedeur, we get Shedeur. No.
They got to go get
what
him.
I can think is he would go out, I want to get my guy.
Yeah, the Saints are a mess, though. I'm not sure that Kellen Moore is going to be there for the long term. I told you my conspiracy theory is they're going to tank for Arch Manning, but we shall see.
So they have pick 9, 40, 71, and 93. So they have 2/3, and they have pick in the top 40.
You thought they had 2/3.
So maybe if you go one, if you trade 4 with 9, you
swap.
take 40.
Yep.
And then you get, let's say, 71, but
Yep.
you trade back one of your 2/3 that the Patriots have.
Yep.
Then you could stomach that. And then again, you have 2 seconds. So they'd be picking 4, let's say in that scenario.
4.
They'd be picking 9.
Well, 9.
38
for the
40,
second round. Right.
69 and 71.
Right.
Or 71 and 77.
I don't hate it.
And then you could take 40 and 38, package them together, go back into the first.
You could, or you could stay with those picks and take
Yeah.
offensive linemen out the yin yang,
And
which
then
is
you're
also
gonna,
a possibility.
You're going to have 5 picks in the top 77 to 93.
Right.
It's really hard drafting. The more options you give yourself, the better.
Sure. Let's talk about the number 38 pick in the second round overall. So we've given every scenario. Patriots trade back. They stay put at 4. But let's talk second round. If they keep that 38th overall,
Yeah.
I guess it obviously depends on what they do in the first round. If they address offensive line, then you could be thinking, what, wide receiver here, maybe a Higgins. If they don't address, maybe if they trade back and they take a Tyler Warren or a Ted McMillan, maybe here's an offensive line. I guess it depends on the first round, but just spitballing here, how do you see that number 38 overall going?
I see a lot of picks falling with the Arante Ursary.
Oh.
And this is a guy that...
Will he be there at 38?
He could. He could. And that's where, again, it's what becomes a pick 38.
Yeah.
It's not who they take at 38. Because if they take 38, and let's say they trade back again. Let's stick with this scenario. If they take 38 and 69, package them together to get into the first.
The back end of the first.
Yeah, so pick 38 becomes an Arante Ursary.
Right.
Then that's fine. So it's more of what do they do with their second pick off the board? If they go edge or wide receiver, they have to go offensive tackle. You cannot wait. And a guy like Ursary, at worst, will be a really good right tackle. At best, is going to be a really good left tackle. Like, you'll take that. He's going to play tackle. 6'6", 330 pounds, 33-plus inch arms, wingspan 80 inches, 7/8 inch. That's what you want. That's your frame of a left tackle. But it's also that is 40-yard dash 501. Again, at 330 pounds. That's absurd. 10-yard split 174 at 330 pounds. And it's what he does, broad jump, 9 feet 3 inches. That shows the explosiveness. He's so strong and he's so powerful. He can move people. It's just a matter of cleaning up his hands. But with his big frame, and he has good footwork for a guy his size, you get someone like a Doug Marrone with his hands on him, he'd be spectacular. Now, if they were to go wide receiver, I think it'd be Jalen Knoll out of Iowa State.
You
at
do
that
like
point.
him.
So funny, I've been calling him Noel. It's Knoll. He tweeted out, it's Knoll, by the way. Like, Cole, Knoll. Love it. Thank you for telling me.
Yeah.
Because I think people should get familiar with his name. 5'10", freak athlete slot. It's Darnell Mooney meets Tyler Lockett. And if you look at Tyler Lockett's career, you would sign up for that. Up until this year, where the guy's 32, 33, I believe, he was a walking, talking 75, 80 catches, 1,000 yards, 5 to 10 touchdowns, 1,000 yards plus. You would take that at Jalen Knoll, who's really violent.
You like him more than Higgins?
I like Jalen Knoll because of his athletic upside. Jaden Higgins at 6'2" is
the body.
good,
Yeah.
and he'd be that big red zone target.
Okay.
So it's wants and needs at that point.
Well, you need both. You want and you need both. Either one of them would obviously benefit this wide receiving core.
And it's a long-term play. It's the traits that get me with Jalen Knoll, but I like Jaden Higgins a lot. Good route running, good hands, big target for Drake May.
One thing I would tell everyone to keep their eye on, this Jalen Walker is just shooting up draft boards. Every single mock draft I see now has this guy going 4 to the Patriots. That is someone who, look, he's been on our radar. We've talked about him, but not at number 4. So keep your eyes. You know, this time of year, guys are rising up the boards, dropping down the boards. Jalen Walker, although I think it would be a reach at 4, that's someone I continue to see, George, in all these mock drafts.
I
like him. I don't love him at 4, though.
245, really good edge rusher. He could be a Swiss Army knife, and he's a Micah Parsons light in a way. Where he could be used as an off-ball linebacker. You line him up everywhere.
At 4?
No, I think 4. You would have to love him. Again, it's who else is there.
Yes.
If Abdul Carter's there, you take him. But if he's a guy coming out of Georgia, coach's son, his dad was a defensive coordinator in the college level. Everything about his character is absolutely beloved. And this is a guy that is a really good edge rusher. It's tough when the same way of we talk about Ohio State wide receivers, you have to talk about Georgia defensive linemen. Nolan Smith, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, list goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
You have to look at Georgia. Trayvon Walker with the Jaguars. You have to look at Georgia pass rushers and defensive linemen. where you do take the helmet into account.
Of course.
For whatever they're doing in Athens,
Yes.
getting those guys ready for the next
It's a
level.
factory, no doubt. We want to hear from you. Email us at chat@NESN.com. Tweet at us using the hashtag NESNChat as well. We want to know what you think the Patriots should do at number 4 overall. If they stay there, would you trade back? What would you do there? In 30 seconds, we'll tell you how the Red Sox still have the best City Connect jerseys. We'll talk about that. But first, if you want the latest on the Patriots and the NFL, Drake May needs help. We discuss how he can get it in this draft on NESN's football podcast, Foxborough Rush. It's available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and wherever else podcasts are found. All right, George, you know what time it is. What's trending? 3 things trending in the world of sports. 3 minutes each on the timer for each, and then that annoying buzzer goes off and tells us to shut up.
love it.
Let's start here. Colorado Rockies City Connect jerseys. Now, I have purposefully not looked at these until I wanted a real organic moment like right now. So here they go. The Rockies have revealed their new City Connect uniforms. My first time seeing this, George, and I'm here to tell you I hate it and it stinks.
It's like sunrise to sunset is something they're going with.
Tequila
It's a lot
sunrise.
of colors.
There's a lot going on there, isn't it? Well, you know, out in Colorado, they're like, dude, the colors, man.
Just take the throwback. What's funny is the Rockies normally have one of the best jerseys in baseball.
Yes.
The black and the purple, and it's perfect.
Gangster, iconic.
Why not go with a, like, play off the Nuggets throwback jerseys colorway? The yellow, the red, the blue with the white.
Yeah.
This is a lot.
This is ugly is what it is. It looks like a pack of Skittles is what this is.
If I got to stare at it this long and figure out if I like it or not, that means I don't like
Facts.
it.
I looked at it for 3 seconds and said, is this Fruit Loops? I'm out. It's too many colors. I don't like it.
Yeah, that's it. It's giving me college wooden bat league vibes. And it's just like Major League Baseball. You got to be serious at some point.
You go on the show and create a team.
Exactly. Like it's the colors for me. It's not exactly the design. It's the colors. It's way too much all at once.
The Red Sox still have the best. I love the City Connect Red Sox.
Yeah, and again, that makes sense. That's the thing of like, what are these colors?
Yeah,
the City Connect jerseys for the Sox with the going off the marathon colors makes sense. It's connection to the city. With the Rockies, I just don't know what's going on.
Well, I'm sure there's some sort of history we don't know or care about. I'm just going off of what I can see.
Inspired by Colorado's iconic sunrise and sunset from the Rocky Mountains, a palette that plays homage to the perfect transition between day and night, a blend of bluebird skies against the backdrop of a purple mountain majesty.
No, it doesn't.
Highlighted by brilliant orange and pink, bright and hopeful. What?
No.
That's what it is. It's orange.
It sounds like someone took an edible and wrote that and came up with these City Connect jerseys.
It's Colorado.
What it sounds. It's Colorado.
It's Colorado.
That's what I'm saying. So because of that, we are out. Like Shark Tank, we are out. We don't like it. Red Sox still the best City Connect jerseys, no doubt about it. You are right though about their OG like regular uniforms. It is iconic.
Throwback jerseys too, and I like with these that these are the pullover ones. I'm big on baseball. Lose the buttons. Like the buttons, just I think when you think of like the Big Red Machine. Back in the day, Pete Rose is playing. If you're in San Francisco Giants, when you go into like Willie McCovey's days, like those black with the orange, no buttons at all, just the pullover. Yeah. I'm big on that. I think those look so damn good.
That's tough.
So I like that they went that direction. It's the orange and the purple and the, I don't know.
It's too much, man.
Yeah.
I'm not with it. Listen, if I'm a Rockies fan, I'd be like, yeah, you could keep that. Just give me the regular.
Yeah.
Like, give me the regular unleaded. All right, here we go. I don't even want to hear the buzzer on tape. We're good on that. How about this? Paige Bueckers is signing a 3-year deal. Thank you. With Unrivaled. Yeah. This is huge news. So she's getting more money here than she is
in 1 year.
In 1 year than her entire projected 4-year WNBA rookie salary. This is great news, obviously, for Unrivaled and Paige, but also I think it's just she doesn't have to go overseas and try to make the money, and it's changing the landscape of how women's basketball is played and paid and respected in our country. I think this is great.
And what's crazy is that in the first year, which the first year is only a 10-week season, in Unrivaled, which she owns equity in as is.
Oh.
That's, again, like Juju Watkins, Paige Bueckers were players that invested in this, founded by Breonna Stewart and Nafisa Collier. You know Stewie. Obviously, UConn connect with Bueckers, probably calling her and going,
Watched out for her.
Hey, take this deal. Well, like, invest in it.
Yep.
And last year they made $27 million in revenue in 10 weeks.
I thought it was entertaining.
And what the league is doing wisely, instead of going bigger and more teams, they're paying more for the marquee players, the bigger names. Like, they didn't have Caitlin Clark, they didn't have Asia Wilson.
Right.
Now they got a Paige Bueckers, it'll get the bigger names. For her, good for her. I mean, she'll make probably 78, 80 a year with her rookie scale contract the first 4 years. So overall, in 1 year, she's going to be making like $350,000, $400,000. In 10 weeks, good for her. And it doubles up. And the best thing, you make your point, it'll give you the best product. She doesn't have to go to Russia, Europe, wherever to play basketball.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's the WNBA, again, this is what they battle with the players.
That's right.
New TV deals coming down. They want to get paid. Just with what makes sense to how the players are why the league is growing.
That's right.
It's not the owners. It was Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Asia Wilson. They're the reason that so many eyeballs are on this game now.
Now, in terms of off-the-court impact, I'm not going to compare anyone to Caitlin Clark. I don't think that's fair to Paige or anyone else for that matter. But on the floor, I wonder if Paige Bueckers can have the same type of impact as a Caitlin Clark. I mean, we saw Caitlin Clark come in. She got off to a rough start in terms of figuring out the physicality, if you remember, in her rookie year. But then as the season went on, she settled. She became, Caitlin Clark, quite frankly. She played like what we were expecting her to play. She sort of willed her team into the playoffs, it felt like. I feel as though Paige Bueckers is going to have a similar success story in her rookie year. We, as in all of us, the collective fans, media, all the alike, have to be careful to not try and put her in that same stratosphere in terms of impact off the floor. I don't know if that's fair to Paige or anyone else. But on the floor, I'm anticipating, barring injury, I'm anticipating her having the same kind of impact as Caitlin Clark did. And listen, there are a subset of people that say, well, how come every time you talk about Paige Bueckers, you have to talk about Caitlin Clark and vice versa? They will be linked forever. They came in together. They had all the hype together. They lived up to the hype together.
Yeah.
And now Paige Bueckers is going to the WNBA. They're going to be linked together just like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese are. This is no different.
Yeah. I think it's right to put it where you got to set realistic expectations, right?
Yes.
And that's even the same of like with the Bueckers coming in. It's more of like a Sabrina Ionescu type trajectory.
Fair.
Really good college player, accomplished a ton, is going to help grow the game at the next level.
All right, this next story really ticks me off because I think they blame the wrong guy. Phoenix Suns have fired head coach Mike Budenholzer. I mean, you got to be kidding me. After one season, Phoenix finished 11th in the West, 36-46 overall record. This is now the third straight season. The Suns have fired their coach. Is this not a Suns problem? Like, I like Bud. I think he's a really good coach. I thought he got a raw deal here.
Yep.
It is so clear to everyone involved. I can't imagine how Phoenix Suns fans must feel because all the way here in Boston, when you watch them play, it doesn't work. Booker doesn't work with Durant, who doesn't work with Beal. And we knew when this triad got together, it wasn't going to work out. And it hasn't. It has failed miserably. And yet, Budenholzer, much like the coaches before him, are blamed for this. There are rumors that they're going to shop Kevin Durant this offseason. That's all fine and good. Good for him. But this Phoenix Suns franchise is an absolute mess. To underachieve to the level that they have underachieved with that kind of talent, there's no excuse for it. And I don't really believe it's Budenholzer's fault. I don't.
No, it's fall guy.
I think him and Mike Malone both are two guys that are going to get jobs in 5 seconds and be just fine.
It's a GM, James Jones' fault, and it's the new owner, Ishbia.
And the new owner.
Where he came in swinging big, and that's fine. But this is now going to be this upcoming season. 4 head coaches in 4 seasons. And Budenholzer got a 5-year, $50 million deal.
Oh.
They still owe him that $40 million on the back end. Like they fired him. Like,
what a great firing.
So how many, between Vogel and Budenholzer, how many guys are you going to be paying? 3 head coaches now.
Oh, my God.
And that's the thing, too, of they're also like, when you're a head coach and you take this job, day one is going to be, okay, what are we doing with Kevin Durant? Who are we trading him to? Mm-hmm. Why would you not give Mike Budenholzer the range on that? But that's more a reflection on the players. And that's why in the NBA, the most powerful person of a franchise is the superstar, the number 1 best player, the second best player, and in the climate now, the third best player. Then it's probably the agent of the number 1 player, or maybe all 3. And then it's GM, then head coach, right?
Yeah.
But like that's how the hierarchy goes. So this is a reflection on the way Bud lost that locker room. That's on Devin Booker. And this is a guy, I really love him as a player.
Me
but you
too.
got to be that leader. And so you're going to now go 4 head coaches in 4 years, and KD's not going to be there, and you're stuck with Bradley Beal.
You're stuck with Beal.
This happens when a coach loses the locker room. But you got to fire James Jones too.
Yeah.
And if you're Matt Ishbia, you need to get an adult in the room that tells you, I'm going to run the team.
Yeah.
You got the money. Awesome. Love what you're doing with this team. You're serious about winning. Love that you're giving me Steve Ballmer energy.
Sure.
Pay whatever, field the team. Let me make the calls.
I wonder if they make a call to Mike Malone or not. I don't know. But I tell you this. I'm at the point now.
That's a good domino effect call.
It is.
I bet if Malone wasn't out there.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm at the point now. I'm selling all of my Devin Booker stock. All of it.
No, I'm not.
I am. You know why? Since the finals that they lost to Giannis, that they should have won that. They were up 2-0, if I'm not mistaken. And Giannis was banged up. But since that finals, everyone ordained this Devin Booker guy, oh, he's the next Kobe. Wrong. What has he done for you since? He is talented as all hell. But you said the real word with him. He's not a leader.
Yeah.
And if he's going to be the best player on a championship franchise, which he has proven he couldn't do, I'm out on him. You're not a leader, and you got me to the finish line and couldn't get me over the finish line. I'm done with Devin Booker. All right, we're talking Celtics hoops next. No such problems for the C's as they chase banner 19. Stream the entire Red Sox season with a NESN 360 annual plan. It's available at an all-new reduced price of just $20 a month, paid annually. And for a limited time, you'll get 4 free tickets to Fenway with your purchase. Visit NESN360.com to sign up today. George, it's almost that time, my friend. So, Hawks and Magic tonight. Winner of this play-in decides who the Celtics will face in the first round of the NBA playoffs. Trey, Paolo, East number 7 on the line as the Magic hosts the Hawks in the play-in. So, first, let's start there. Who do you like tonight? And then I want to know which matchup would help the Celtics get that banner 19 in the first round?
2 great questions.
Get off to a good start for the champs.
I think they handle either team. But obviously you want to think about who they rather play. With this one, it's everything you talk about when it comes to playoffs. You're like, it's Trae Young, the magic he did. And obviously them, along with the first-round draft pick, the Hawks have been doing well while this Magic team is no Jalen Suggs. The Magic can't shoot, but they can defend. I think in a play-in type tournament, that can get them by. In a 7-game series or a play-in type scenario, as a play-in tournament is, they could get one bye on the Hawks. But I think in a 7-game series, the fact that they just can't respond with threes, they'll get themselves run out of the gym. So I think Magic, I like them against the Hawks. It's because of the defense, even though they're banged up. But so is Atlanta, too. I mean, Jalen Johnson's been done for the season. Jalen Suggs been done for the season for Orlando. But so if you look at the forward of, all right, who would the Celtics then get, with them being the 2 seed? I mean, they handle either team, but to me, I think they would just, again, they would beat the Magic, who can defend better, but neither's elite at defending the perimeter. The Magic can't shoot. The Magic can't score. And that's where the Celtics are going to put up 53s in your face. You need to keep up with them to a clip and at least limit them. They can't limit them, and they can't even make more than 11 threes a night. I'm talking about the Magic here. Either one would be done at 5 and max. I think Magic would be a sweep. I think Hawks would be in 5.
Yeah.
Right? There's like the play-in scenario. Then there's a scenario against the Celtics in 7.
Right.
It's what makes this setup good.
Look, I think they sweep either one. Let me be clear. But I actually think the Hawks are a much easier matchup. One of the reasons is the Magic underachieved this season, and you sort of alluded to this, but they've had a lot of injury issues.
Paolo missed 34 games. Franz was 20 games, yeah.
And then they were in and out of the lineup. Both of them weren't back at the same time, and then when they were, one would get hurt. Yeah. There was a lot of mismatching. And look, this is a team that came into this season with expectations after having a really good season last year. So I think the Magic are really more dangerous because – and they're banged up now, so I don't know how they're magically going to get healthy. But if, let's just for the sake of conversation, sort of say they play themselves healthy as the series goes on, a couple games in, all of a sudden, that is a tough team. They're very good defensively when healthy.
Yeah.
They kind of remind me of the Pistons. The Pistons were just better this year. The Pistons were last season's Magic. The Magic did what the Pistons did this season, last season.
Yeah.
And they're limited offensively, but they are so tough defensively, and the Magic have underachieved this season. I could see them getting confidence as a series goes on with the Celtics. Whereas the Hawks, it's Trae Young and a bunch of dudes. And I'm not saying Trae Young's not a great player. I'm not saying Trae Young might not light you up a couple games. Maybe they do win one game and it's a gentleman's sweep. But he's really the only issue you have to deal with.
Yeah, with the size of their wings.
Yes. So I actually think both of these guys would be barbecue chicken for the Celtics.
You think Hawks are easier outing?
I think so. Because they're a one-trick pony.
And they can't guard.
And they cannot guard.
And the one thing the Magic do well,
they're tough.
They allow one of the highest three-point percentage to opponents.
Yes.
But they run opponents off the three-point line really well. And the Magic can at least execute there. I just think of when I go back to last season, the playoff run. The only time we saw the Celtics slip up was when they went cold and their opponent got hot. That's the only time
Heat?
That was a Heat. And that was the only time they slipped up in the first two rounds.
And the Pacers, right?
Cavs. Pacers they swept.
Yep.
And that's what was their undoing for one game.
Right.
And then they came back and stomped them.
Yeah.
The Hawks can heat up. I don't trust the Magic shooting. So there will be a defense, but the Celtics can defend as well. You're right. Like, again, that's why it's 5 games at most.
At most.
And it'll be the one where it's like game 2 or 3 might just be a fluke.
Right.
I'm not worried.
Are you more worried about the Magic, the Hawks, or Jaylen Brown's knee?
Jaylen Brown's knee.
Same.
But just manage it and get them to the finish line.
My thing is, and this is another topic for another podcast, why did we get to the point where he has to take injections? He should have been resting anyways. And I get,
65
you needed the 65 games for the whole NBA. Bro, he already got paid. He already has a title. What are we doing?
He got finals MVP.
Right. He should have been resting to begin with. Yes. I hate that he's been toughing it out, and now he's taking these. But, again, much like we talked about Abdul Carter at the top of the show, everyone says, oh, no concern. Okay, everyone's saying he'll be fine come playoff time. This isn't a big deal. But I just don't feel like it should have came to this. You should have been resting him to begin with.
And that's on the head coach.
It is, who we give credit to, but
call your guys out.
We got to call them out.
In a way, maybe because there was that drop-off mid-March.
Yeah.
And maybe Missoula, that last time when he only played 22 minutes against the Knicks, maybe Missoula went to him and go, look, you can't move. You're not playing. Shutting you down, get the injections, go.
I guess. Man, I'm looking at the East, and we've talked about this all year long. Are the Cavs this or the Cavs that? Outside of Cleveland,
I'm not afraid
there is no one, bro.
No.
Knicks, Pacers, Bucks. They're saying Dame may come back. I'm not buying that. Pistons, Magic, Hawks.
Still not afraid. Kuzma? Come on.
No one.
No.
And the Cavs, by the way, if the Cavs are a threat, I'm using air quotes, what's that mean? 6 games? Can they push you to 7? I highly doubt it personally.
If you go west, Thunder, Rockets, Lakers, Clippers, they can mess around, make it as finals.
Well, west is different.
Yeah.
But in the East,
I'm not worried.
There's really no one. Hey, if you want more Celtics talk, the NBA playoffs are around the corner. Here's a big question. Will the Celtics repeat and claim Banner 19? You can find everything about the NBA and its culture on NESN's basketball podcast, Hold My Banner. It's available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and wherever else podcasts are found. All right, it's NBA awards season. I feel like it's the Oscars here. NBA awards season. So I want to go through all the awards with you. We'll go rapid fire because it's a ton of them, and get your take on who should win these.
Yeah.
We'll start with the Rookie of the Year. Now, I was all about Jalen Wells, and then he got hurt. And, it's unfortunate, although he had a broken wrist, which if any of you remember that nasty fall he was on, the fact that he only got a broken wrist from that is a miracle to me. But nonetheless, still unfortunate. He's out for the season since then. So because of that, I'm going Stephon Castle here. I am. He has been consistently consistent. Like, he hasn't been great. There's not been these big highs. I don't remember him dropping a 50 burger on someone, but he also hasn't been low. Now, he started off the season kind of slow.
Yeah.
And then as the season went on, he found his groove, and he has been consistent. And then, by the way, Wemby goes out. There's other things going on around in San Antonio now. He has to step up. I think he has. Remember, Pop has the health issues. I like Castle for Rookie of the Year. Nothing against Wells, but when he got hurt, I said this is Castle's award to lose now.
And he's played every game for the Spurs, too.
He's been very consistent.
Averaging just under 15 points per game.
Very consistent.
I just go Jalen Wells because he's starting on a playoff team. Now, if Wemby doesn't go down, this could have been the combo for Stephon Castle.
Could have been.
And obviously Wemby, just you lose him, that's one of the best players in the league, not just the best player on your team.
That's right.
I just like Jalen Wells because that's a guy playing over 25 minutes a game, scoring 10-plus points per game, and really effective with his shooting and super efficient from the floor, especially from his 2-point field goal percentage.
Sure.
So I go with him. Again, starting on a playoff team, that's a differentiator for me.
Yeah.
But with Stephon Castle, and obviously Jalen Wells, not finishing out the season, that's out of his control with the scary fall he took. But Castle playing every single game, like that's something to be said about a rookie.
Absolutely.
Coming off a back-to-back national championship run, going into the NBA and doing this, like he's a terrific player. Again, that's a good piece to have around Wemby building towards the future.
You know what would be scary hours, bro, before we move on?
Yeah, I know what you're going to say.
If them damn Spurs
get
that ping pong ball
and
get Cooper Flag.
Yep.
Oh, my God. Because they already have so much young talent. Can you imagine?
And then the elite defender you have in Wemby, Stephon Castle, and Cooper Flag.
Oh, Lord.
How all those guys impact the game without the ball in their hand, too.
Here come the Spurs again.
I wouldn't mind it. The frozen envelope, obviously, with Patrick Ewing. Do a frozen sticky ping pong. How would it even work?
I don't even know.
A heavy ping pong ball. Get Flag to San Antonio. Why not?
I want him in Utah.
No, I want him in San Antonio.
I want him with Ainge.
Exciting
around him.
lights.
Yeah. Coach of the year. I'm going our old friend, Ime Udoka. Listen.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I get it. Kenny Atkinson and the Cavs, number 1 seed in the East.
Yep.
And it feels like a foregone conclusion. He's probably going to win it. Kenny Atkinson, that is. But Ime, he deserves his flowers, man. I mean, that team, the Rockets I made a ton of money betting them last season. They didn't make the playoffs. No one remembers this unless you're a Rockets fan or you're a D-gen like me betting on them. Mm-hmm. But they were hotter than fish grease to end the season. No one wanted to play them, and they just barely missed out on the postseason. Ime takes a full off season. That's a young team. They're mature, though. They play tough defense in his likeness. They are the number 2 seed in the West, and I believe they can get to the finals this year. I think Ime Udoka is my coach of the year.
I go with the 1 seed in the East just because Kenny Atkinson took over a franchise with a roster and a superstar everyone thought was broken.
Yes.
Like they fired JB Bickerstaff, Donovan Mitchell. There was a question if he's even going to stay. There's a question. We had it when we were talking banner, you, me, and Ante, and we're talking about the Cavs.
Yeah.
Does Kenny Atkinson make it through the season? Does Donovan Mitchell finish at the deadline? Is he a Cavalier past that deadline? And he is. And he took him to the 1 seed. I just feel like that's what is a differentiator again. A team that was a playoff team into the 1 seed compared to Ime missing the playoffs and getting in as one of the best defensive teams in the league altogether. But for Kenny Atkinson to make it work with Donovan Mitchell, with all the players that to buy at the deadline, get guys like DeAndre Hunter in there as well. I just think Atkinson's coaching job has been so elite. And this was a historic Cavaliers NBA team too.
It does seem like that's going to happen. Like Atkinson's going to win it.
I just think
Ime, he deserves some props, bro. He deserves some props. All right, defensive player of the year. I'm going Draymond. As much as it annoys me,
you listen to the podcast, huh?
It just annoys me.
That propaganda.
But he is. I actually just watched this with our esteemed producer Ante Campbell the other night.
Yeah,
it was Warriors Clippers. And it was Draymond one-on-one with Kawhi at the end of that game. I can't remember if it was regulation or overtime. I think it was regulation. And he forced Kawhi into Kawhi got a good look at the basket, but he forced him into a jumper. Mm-hmm. You could tell Kawhi wanted to go to the hoop, couldn't do it. Couldn't get around Draymond, so he rises above him. It was contested. He was right there. He had a good look. He misses the jumper. And I thought, damn, man, I hate to admit, but defensively, it has been his year. I think it's Draymond Green. I hate to admit it because he makes me sick with all his antics, but no one can take away a few things from Draymond if we're being honest.
His IQ.
IQ all time.
Strength.
Very Rodman-esque defensively.
Yeah.
Clutch. I mean, he can't shoot, but he'll hit a clutch 3 in your face. He's an enforcer. I think you cannot poo-poo Draymond's meaning to that organization with the Warriors, even though he gets on my damn nerves. He's my defensive player of the year. What say you?
Amen Thompson with the Rockets. Elite perimeter defender that takes on the best outside scorer.
Yeah, bro.
Also, his 3.6 blocks percentage, that's up there with Zubac, that's up there with Draymond Green.
Yeah, dog.
He's such a freak athlete. And in the modern day NBA, it's about what you can do on the perimeter. That's why I would take Evan Mobley over Draymond Green, too. And again, all three of them are great. And I know this is a big man award most of the time. But what Thompson does on the perimeter defensively, and then what he could do as a rim protector too, using his athleticism, wants to get into the paint, play hard, and how quick he moves, again, as an off-ball defender as well, just eliminating plays and erasing them before they can unfold. I like Amen Thompson a lot.
All right.
I think it's going to be Mobley or Green.
Yeah.
And I get that moment. It's a washed Kawhi. And it's Draymond, where
Yeah.
Thompson and Mobley have been doing it all year long. I'm not going to buy into Draymond podcasting his way to a win. Still playing
Would you say
well.
propaganda?
Yeah, it's just like that man said a wild lie about Karl Anthony Towns, didn't take accountability for it, and said the podcast got to go on. So yeah, I got some bias in this one too. But like, it's just I'm not putting up with that BS.
Someone told me Draymond Green shoots like he has a book bag on.
Yeah.
And I have not been able to unsee it
That's
ever
how he
since.
does it. What's Defensive Player of the Year?
Sixth man of the year,
We know.
Peyton Pritchard.
Yeah.
Next. Check, please.
Dude, it's not just what he does shooting wise, where he's taking almost 8 threes a game, shooting just under 41%, but he has the 5th highest usage on the Celtics. So on the best team in the league, with an MVP candidate, with 2 all-pro caliber players, with a defensive player of the year, and one of the best two-way players
Nasty.
in KP, Andrew Hall. Dude, Brown, White, exactly. With all of those guys, how good this team is. Bunch of all-pros. Offensively, he has the 5th highest usage, and he rebounds like a savage at 6'1". It's either bombing it for 3, or he has no problem attacking the rim too.
Yep.
He's such a vital piece in this team. Again, they're so deep. The Celtics just got to sing the praise on Peyton Pritchard. It's more that he comes off the bench, shoots, plays a lot of minutes. No, he's a vital cog on this offense, does well on the boards, and can attack inside.
Here's how dominant Pritch has been. I think this award was over by the All-Star break. I mean, think about that. Most improved player, I'm going Zubac. You brought him up earlier. Defensively, he's always been there, but he improved offensively this season. That's what stood out to me on that team. So I like Zubac as the most improved. Who do you got?
Yeah, I'm going Cade Cunningham, popular pick here.
Oh, great pick.
I mean, he was drafted number 1 overall, 20
Just
years
stayed
old.
healthy.
Now he's 23. Yeah, he's finally playing 70-plus games, averaging over 25 points per game. Youngest player to ever average that many points for the Pistons in franchise history. And he's emerged as one of the best players in the league. He can be all-pro. He went from not being an all-star to being all-NBA, and that's what this award pretty much is. I'm giving it to Cade on this one.
Yeah.
The Pistons wouldn't be in the playoffs without Cade Cunningham. I think the Clippers would still be there without Zubac.
I think all of us knew this kid could play. It was just a matter of
loved him at
putting it
OK
together.
State.
We all did. And it should be working there in Detroit long before it has now.
Yeah.
But he had injury issues. Now he's healthy. We're seeing it. Clutch player of the year. How's it not Joker? Listen, spoiler alert, I'm not giving Joker the MVP for once. So I have to give him something.
Yeah.
Averaging a triple-double is just ridiculous as a big man in the year of 2025.
Yeah.
So I'll go Joker here as clutch player of the year. He's the only one doing anything for the Nuggets.
He is. And that's the tough part. I still go Jalen Brunson. I just think late in the game, his clutch numbers, the final 5 minutes of a game, how the NBA measures it, he's basically leading in everything. It's tough to go away from Joker, though, because he controls the entire game.
Right.
But I just think Brunson with his late-game shot making, they're both great candidates. I just have that bias lean towards Jalen Brunson on that one.
And they're both on underachieving teams that depend on them to do everything.
Yeah, different types of underachievers, though.
Different types of underachiever.
Where the Nuggets kept letting good players walk and replace them with second-round picks.
The Knicks are trying.
OG Anunoby, Bridges,
but they're not.
Cat.
Right.
They can't even defend, which is insane because they were built to defend.
Facts.
And to protect Jalen Brunson in a way. But he's still finding ways to win them games. Joker's doing more with less.
He is. All right, so I thought this would be a debate, but I don't think it is. Most valuable player.
SGA.
It's SGA.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's have this combo because obviously Joker has a case, as he always does. I believe he has 3 MVPs already.
Yep, he does.
SGA, best player on the best team. He's done it wire to wire, consistent.
Yep.
I mean, his offensive bag's ridiculous. He's leading that team. It just feels like it's time. Are we gonna let me re-ask? Are we gonna look back? Let's say SGA wins it and we're right. Are we gonna look back and say, like we do with Jordan, Joker should have won that. He should have won that.
It could be.
Is it because of Joker fatigue that we're not giving it to him,
Yeah,
or is SGA that great?
You have to equate that, but you're also talking about a big point guard that's playing 35 minutes a game, played more games than Jokic.
Best team.
Averaging 33 points. His shooting splits are just absurdly efficient. Woke up his three-point shot as well, almost 38% from deep, while 89% from the free throw line. The best player on the best team, the straw that stirs a drink. While Jokic is the best player in the league, but that team, and again, the talent around him isn't as deep. So Jokic has to do a lot more. I just think, and I hate the argument of it's time, but we've seen SGA do it time and time again.
Yeah.
It's about time he gets an MVP because he's been this special. And
Yes.
it's been building up to this type of performance.
Yes.
And I think that's the big thing for SGA.
Okay.
And it's been Everyone's saying the Thunder are going to win the West, and they won the West. So give it to the best player in the West.
Well, they won the regular season
That's
West.
what I mean. Get
Let's
the one
go
seed.
here to end the show.
Who wins the West?
Thunder versus in the finals, or Field versus Celtics in the finals? Which would you bet? Oh! Now that's how you end the show. Look at him sweating.
I'm just going to take the Celtics.
Look at him sweating.
Wait,
no,
I have to take the Field or the Thunder?
In the West. Field, so anyone, or the Thunder against
To
the
beat
Celtics.
the Celtics in the finals.
No, in the finals.
Oh, getting there?
Yeah. Look at him sweating. Keep that ISO cam,
I'd still
Jay.
go Thunder. They made deep runs. What did
you
the
take the
Timberwolves
Thunder?
been? Nothing but a disappointment. The Rockets are still young. You got to have playoff experience.
Luka and LeBron? Luka and LeBron?
And that's when I would go Lakers, but like, do the tires fall off? Do they maintain it? We've seen Luka, again, with his questionable conditioning. Great player.
Sure.
I love Luka.
Sure. You do.
Second best player in the league.
You do.
But it's a team like the Thunder that have been there. They're so deep. They defend so well, and they score in so many different ways.
All right,
I'm
dog.
taking Thunder over the Field.
I think I'd take the Field.
Wild.
I think I'd take the Field.
I don't know how many bets we have, but we got to extend it.
I know. Well, I don't listen. I'll be honest. I don't feel as strong with this one. You know, usually I'm talking that talk, and I'm like, let's bet some whiskey or something.
Yep.
I'm not doing that. This would be like a gentleman's bet. But I just like a lot of the teams out west. I love the Rockets. LeBron and Luka would not shock me if they got to the finals. No one would love that more than Adam Silver. Okay. No one. The NBA needs Celtics Lakers in the finals. I just think there's some teams out there cooking. But the Thunder are tough. But again, they're still young. I haven't seen them quite do it yet, so I'm not willing to stamp them quite yet. So I would take the Field. But it's an interesting topic.
This Thunder team is so good, man.
They're complete too, which is scary.
And they've made a deep playoff run before and come up short.
Right. Thunder Celtics, how many games for Banner 19? 6?
Celtics in 6.
Okay. You heard it there first, folks.
If you get Celtics Lakers, I think it'd be 5.
Me too.
Celtics in 5.
Me too.
It wouldn't be as exciting.
Maybe anyone outside of the Thunder.
Is there.
It might be 5.
Yeah.
To be honest,
I
Thunder
think so.
could push them maybe. For George Budenholzer and Travis Thomas, that's it for us here on Boston Has Entered the Chat. Till next time when we ask you to enter again. Peace out.
Later.